The Atlantic and Pacific halibut is the world's largest halibut. There are two major species. Atlantic halibut, Hippoglossus hippoglossus. This is the world's largest halibut, found in the northern Atlantic Ocean, between the shores of North America and Europe, including the Norwegian Sea, Iceland, and Greenland. Atlantic halibut can reach over 4.50 meters in length and weigh up to 320 kilograms. Pacific halibut, Hippoglossus stenolepis. This species inhabits the northern Pacific Ocean, particularly along the coasts of Alaska, Canada, and Russia. Pacific halibut are slightly smaller than Atlantic halibut, although they can weigh up to 227 kilograms and reach lengths of 2.40 meters. Body shape and structure. Halibut has a flat body with eyes on both sides of its upper side, which allows it to readily conceal on the seafloor and hunt effectively. Habitat. Halibut lives mostly on the deep bottom in cold waters, typically at depths ranging from 50 to 2,000 meters. Halibut can live for more than 50 years. This fish is heavily fished due to its white, tasty meat, which is highly valued in recipes throughout Northern Europe, North America, and Japan. Halibut is an important commercial fish species, particularly in Alaska and Norway. Longline fishing for Pacific halibut is a significant method in commercial fisheries, particularly in Alaska, Canada, and the North Pacific. This is a sustainable and effective approach to capturing this fish without causing significant harm to the marine environment. Fishing vessels. Commercial flounder fishing boats are typically huge and outfitted with contemporary technology for pulling long lines and processing the catch on board. These vessels frequently include refrigeration facilities to preserve the fish as soon as they are retrieved. Longline. Long lines can be many km long. This main line is made of tough nylon and has hundreds to thousands of hooks attached by shorter lines known as branch lines, with each hook baited. Bait. The bait is typically herring, mackerel, or squid. The bait is connected to hooks to attract flounders. Casting. Long lines are cast from the vessel, often stretching several kilometers to the seafloor or near the bottom, depending on the flounder's depth, which is often between 50 and 500 meters. The line is deployed in a controlled manner, with buoys indicating its location and assisting the boat in tracking it. Waiting time. After the line is released, the boat will wait for the flounder to be hooked on the hooks, which could take several hours or days. When the wait time is adequate, the long line is retrieved. The fisherman utilizes mechanical equipment to bring the long line up. During the pulling procedure, the fish trapped on the hooks are pulled up to the boat's deck. Not a horrible day today. It's scheduled to be southwest, southerly, and 25 knots this morning. Handling the 5th. Workers will promptly clean the fish, remove the organs, and freeze them to ensure the meat's quality. Larger vessels frequently include a rapid freezing system or a cold storage tank to preserve the 5th. Choosing a fishing area is critical. Fishermen frequently employ technology such as radar, sonar, and GPS devices to find places with a high concentration of flounder, particularly along the seabed where they commonly hide. Fisheries management to protect the halibut stock. The U.S. and Canadian governments use tight management techniques as catch quotas, vessel size restrictions, and minimum size regulations for fish that can be retained. Halibut that are too small or do not satisfy guidelines are released back into the ocean. Bycatch avoidance devices are used to decrease bypass. Circle hooks and deep bait are some of the devices or tactics used. This helps to reduce the inadvertent capture of marine mammals, seabirds, and undesired fish. Sustainability. Longline fishing is less detrimental to the marine environment than other methods, such as bottom trawling, because it does not damage the seabed. This procedure ensures that the halibut is caught safely and prepared on board, helping to preserve great meat quality. Furthermore, this strategy enables fishermen to catch vast quantities of halibut in a single trip, at a cheaper cost than alternative procedures. Weather and sea conditions in the North Pacific. The weather can be extremely harsh, making casting and retrieving lines perilous. Despite efforts to decrease bycatch, fishers occasionally catch other species, particularly sharks and seals. It can be argued that the halibut fishing industry is very competitive, with severe limits on the amount of fish that can be captured, forcing fishermen to seek the best possibilities in order to retain profits. In the Pacific Ocean, halibut fishing is governed by the International Pacific Fisheries Commission, IPHC, which controls and supervises fishing activities to guarantee the fishery's sustainability. Fishermen must rigorously stick to their quotas and the minimal size of halibut that can be caught. This helps to protect the fishery for future generations. In summary, the longline method of harvesting Pacific halibut is an essential part of the region's commercial fishing sector. This strategy protects the marine ecology while being cost-effective by combining contemporary technology, sustainable resource management, and environmental protection measures. Longline fishing for millions of halibut is a large-scale commercial operation that often takes place in frigid areas like the North Pacific and Alaska. To attain this massive quantity, major industrial fleets employ advanced equipment and closely regulate the fishing process to ensure efficiency and sustainability. Large industrial fleets will catch millions of halibut. Large industrial fleets are required, fully equipped with longline equipment. These vessels may stretch hundreds of kilometers of line in a single catch. Each longline contains thousands of hooks, and a journey can last for days or weeks. To maximize catch frequency and reach millions of fish, fishing efforts are continuous and can last months, depending on the authorized quota. Vessels can operate from the start of the fishing season until the limit is met. Each tour has large-scale longlines. Vessels can deploy hundreds of kilometers of line with thousands of hooks attached. Automatic equipment will speed up and improve the efficiency of line casting and retrieval. A vessel can drop between 20,000 and 30,000 hooks at a time. Fishermen can use positioning technologies, sonar, GPS, and radar devices to locate the exact location of halibut schools. This shortens the time spent hunting for fish and improves fishing efficiency. Processing power is available on board. Once the fish are hauled in, vessels frequently include onboard processing lines for cleaning, gutting, and freezing. This guarantees that the fish remain as fresh as possible before the vessel arrives at port. Fishery resource management. Catching millions of halibut requires stringent rules from management bodies, such as the International Pacific Fisheries Commission and IPHC. Quotas are established to guarantee that halibut stocks are not overfished. Large workforce. Managing huge vessels and long lines necessitates the collaboration of a skilled crew. These individuals must be able to operate intricate equipment and handle fish on board. Extreme weather. Weather in the North Pacific can be harsh. Casting and retrieving lines can be perilous because to large waves and strong gusts, especially in winter. Catch quotas. The U.S., Canadian, and international governments closely control the number of halibut that can be caught each year. These quotas are derived using the number of fish in the wild and their reproduction rate. To guarantee that fishing does not deplete the fish population, juveniles and halibut that do not reach the required size or of acceptable quality are returned to the sea. This serves to safeguard juveniles and ensures the species' natural reproduction. Large catchers. Catching millions of halibut generates cash for the commercial fishery, especially in places like Alaska, where halibut is highly sought. Export markets. The vast majority of halibut catchers are shipped to international markets. Halibut is popular in Japan, Europe, and North America for its exquisite white meat. Every year, fishermen in Alaskan waters catch hundreds of thousands of tons of halibut. This number can rise to millions during peak fishing seasons. Because of its size and contemporary equipment, the sector has grown to become one of the world's largest halibut producers. Conclusion. Longline fishing for millions of halibut is a large-scale, highly controlled commercial activity. This strategy not only assures a huge supply of fish for the market, but it also maintains the halibut stock in a sustainable manner. Using tight quota management and assessment technologies, longline fishing for large halibut, conga eels, is a popular fishing technique, especially in South American waters such as Chile, where massive halibut fishing has considerable economic and culinary significance. Here's a step-by-step guide on fishing for large halibut with long lines. Fishing vessels. Longline fishing vessels targeting large halibut are typically medium-sized, with advanced equipment for dropping and retrieving large lines. The vessels require storage space for fresh fish after they have been A long line. Long lines are made of nylon or polypropylene and can be stretched for hundreds of meters or kilometers. Hundreds of hooks connect the branch lines to the main line. Each hook is positioned at a set distance. Hooks and baits. Hooks are specifically intended to catch large halibut, with the appropriate size and form to grip the fish without injuring its flesh. Bait is typically small fish, squid, or crustaceans used to lure large halibut fishing. Casting. Long fishing lines are cast into the sea, typically in places with rugged seabeds and reefs where large halibut fishing hides. To cast the fishing line, the boat moves straight or in an arc. Buoys and a marking system are used to facilitate later retrieval. Depth. Huge halibut live in depths ranging from 100 to 500 meters. Long fishing lines are cast to the seafloor or near the bottom to catch this species. Waiting for the fish to bite after casting the line. The fisherman will wait for a while. It usually takes between a few hours and a complete day for the large halibut fishing to bite. The waiting time is determined by weather conditions, currents, and fish activity. When there has been enough time to wait, retrieve the line. The long fishing line will be drawn up by either an automatic or manual puller, depending on the size of the boat. The hooked large halibut fishing are dragged aboard one at a time. Take care of the fish as soon as they are brought aboard. To keep the meat fresh, workers will clean and remove the organs before freezing them on board. To preserve the fish, some large boats have a fast freezing mechanism or a cold storage tank. Selecting a fishing spot. Huge halibut are commonly found on rocky seabeds or in locations with intricate underwater features. Fishermen frequently utilize sonar and GPS equipment to locate the best areas for casting their lines. It's fishing season. Huge halibut fishing is frequently concentrated during peak season, when the fish are more mobile and easier to catch. In Chile, the peak season occurs in the spring and summer, when fish migrate from deep to shallow waters to spawn. Controlling bycatch. When fishing for large halibut, fishermen may catch other fish or marine animals. To address this issue, solutions such as using specific hooks and dropping lines at appropriate depths are used. Conditions on the seafloor are complex. Huge halibut are commonly found in places with rugged seafloor terrain. Fishing lines can quickly become entangled on reefs or underwater objects. To avoid ruining the line or losing the hook, anglers must have experience and the necessary technology. Extreme weather in the South American oceans. Weather conditions can be extreme, with high waves and strong currents making it difficult to drop and retrieve lines. Environmental protection and resource management. Huge halibut fishing areas must follow tight resource management restrictions, such as catch quotas and minimum fish size limits. Resource management in Chile, as well as in many other fields. Huge halibut fishing is highly regulated to safeguard fish stocks. To prevent overfishing, catch quotas and fish sizes are strictly restricted. Conservation measures. Fishermen are obligated to follow conservation measures, such as releasing fish that do not fit the size or quota. Huge halibut fishing has great commercial value, particularly in South America and Asia, where the meat is popular in cuisine. Longline fishing is an effective practice that can produce enormous catches, allowing fishermen to earn a significant profit. Onboard freezing preserves the freshness of the fish, aiding export and worldwide trade. Longline fishing for enormous halibut is an effective and popular approach in commercial fisheries, particularly in Chile, thanks to the combination of contemporary equipment and sustainable management measures. This strategy is not only cost-effective, but it also protects fishing resources for the future. The chef's ability to cut halibut demands precision, agility, and an awareness of the fish's anatomy. Flounder has solid white meat and minimal bones, making it suitable for a variety of high-end meals. As a result, carefully cutting the fish is critical for maximizing its worth. Reduce the number of steps and abilities required for chopping flounder. Sharp filleting knife. Chefs should use a long, sharp, and flexible filleting knife. A sharp knife will cut the fish's flesh delicately without crushing or injuring it. Huge knife for chopping bones and huge bone sections. A strong cleaver is required to handle it. Large chopping board. Chefs should use a large chopping board to accommodate a giant fish-like flounder. Gloves with non-slip surfaces. This helps to protect the hands and prevents the fish from slipping when cutting. The flounder is a flatfish with two asymmetrical sides. One side has black skin, while the other has pale skin. The fish has 4 primary fillets. Two enormous ones above the backbone, dark side, and two smaller ones on the abdomen, light side. Place the fish properly. Chefs set the fish on a cutting board with the dark side facing up. This side contains thicker flesh and is the most critical area to fill. Cut down the spine. First, the chef will use a knife to cut a line down the fish's spine. From head to tail, this cut shapes the huge fillet that will be removed from the fish's back. Separate the fillet from the bone at the spine cut. The chef gently separates the meat from the backbone using a fillet knife. Cut along the curve of the fish bone. This technique needs care to prevent shredding the fish meat and keeping the fillet intact. If the dish calls for it, keep the skin on, otherwise detach it from the meat. To separate the skin, the chef sets the skin side fillet on a cutting board, delicately slices it into the meat near the skin, and then slides a knife between the skin and the meat, keeping the knife angle low to remove all the meat without cutting it into the skin. Cut the fillet from the belly. Continue the same cutting operation with the fish's belly. The meat in the belly is typically thinner, requiring the chef to be extra delicate so as not to break the fillet. After removing the huge fillets, the chef can proceed to remove the remaining small bones and treat the remaining fish pieces, such as the cheeks and fins. Cutting flounder demands meticulous and exact strokes, particularly when removing the fillet from the bone to prevent the meat from breaking apart. Understanding the fish requires the chef to grasp the structure of the flounder. To avoid wasting wonderful meat, know exactly where the bones are. Skin separation technique. To separate the skin from the flesh, hold the knife at the proper angle to extract all of the meat without cutting too deeply into the skin. Washing and cleaning the fillets. After cutting, the flounder fillets must be washed to remove small bones, blood, and leftover skin. The fillets, if not used immediately, must be chilled or frozen soon to preserve them fresh. After cutting, flounder fillets can be prepared into a variety of dishes, including grilled fish, pan-fried fish, sushi, and sashimi, according on the dish's requirements. The chef will decide whether to slice the fish thinly or in huge pieces. Always keep your knives sharp. A sharp knife makes cutting easier and more accurate, reducing the risk of crushing the fish meat. Keep the fish cool. When the fish is held at a cool temperature during the cutting process, the meat remains firmer, making it easier and more appealing to cut. Conclusion. The ability to cut flounder is an important aspect of the chef's job. Requires meticulousness, dexterity, and an understanding of the fish's structure. A skilled chef not only knows how to cut fish to get the most meat out of it, but he or she must also keep each fillet in good form to meet the needs of high-quality foods.